failing miserably.
Yeah, you are. 11 to 7. Just running out at 7 7.
Oh, I got a beat going. Oh, that's why. You pulled the phone away. Wait. There's one button in the whole song. No. You're amazing, dude. Where I'm supposed to stand. It's so insanely fun. This is so great, is it?
Everyone there. Oh my gosh. Me and two girlies and then all the guys. Wow. 14-9. 15-9.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the topics.
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, hi. I was just about to read the topics in the chair.
16-9.
Hi, Daniel.
Let's see. I'm gonna read them all out loud.
Hi,
Evan,
Daniel.
I don't know what that word's. Dinosaurs, cavemen. Okay, I'm not reading
Got
this.
another white one.
Hi, Daniel.
He gave up.
No.
Where you going?
We're about to lead worship downstairs.
They say
But I'll be back up.
What
right
happened?
here.
Probably around 7:10.
You're gonna do something cool. 7:10.
Wow. I feel like this thing's gonna break.
Someone needs to walk over here. Oh. Oh yeah, you're walking over here.
17-9. 17-10.
You're not gonna go home, are you?
Oh, this is beautiful. Made my soul sing.
I can do way good, like.
That's what hurt every time you hit me. Look. Here, show us what.
Oh no.
Yeah, actually.
Broke it.
He's here.
Actually, we have to do every one of
What
these.
was that?
Okay, we have to start from say hi.
Are you done?
Hi.
Hi.
Say
Sorry.
sorry.
I think it's so broken.
Just pray.
No, just throw it away.
Okay.
Oh, stop throwing that.
Say thank you.
Dude,
Thank
it's
you.
already kill me.
You have a Bible.
Got all in the pieces with my hand over it.
Then give me one.
Who's got what now?
And
Pull it.
hi. High five. Shake hands.
Ah!
Shake.
I never said that, and Emily's not there. That is
I'm
unacceptable.
getting my it's from you. So like if you're like the last guy who's saying,
Watch.
oh, we're
This is thoroughly appropriate.
we'll let you know. Like the board.
Yes. Oh, yes. For the exercise. I'm not excited.
Yes, we're kind. We're really kind. Yeah, okay, ready? Hi, sorry. Please, did you hear that? God bless you. Encourage you. Hey, I pray that
He'll die for you.
Oh.
Yes, everybody can die for him.
Sorry for our what is this?
Okay. Super Oracle.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I choose soup because you can eat it out of the can. The wall is there.
Wait, does that say Super Bowl? What does that even say?
Soup Oracle.
What is this? I thought that said Super Bowl. That says Super Bowl. That is so good. I prefer Bulls.
Oh, no, you should have hit his hand. Watch your hand.
You know, hitting your hand is called
Oh, look at me, I'm so good. Did you know clapping is hitting yourself?
My sister, my cousin, her sister.
Play that one game. Like, whatever it's called. That is cheating. Or it's like you said, it's Wait, wait, all these together.
What person do you hate?
What is that?
Where's that thing where you make the triangle? Look, oh, that is not point.
Turn it.
I'm ready. Happy belated birthday, Danielle! Thank you! Oh, that's 93. Let's go. That's not the point. The point is that I have to go.
It's not his skull. Point this. It's not.
Now it is 10-3. Ha!
Alright guys, come on in. Come on in. Come on in.
Let's see if I can slap.
Because there's more girls than boys. Oh, Caleb!
Tonight's game is going to be a little different than usual. It's going to involve a friendly wager.
It really was.
A wager. Friendly wager.
What are you talking to?
Your slurp is worse than his.
Nasty. Yes. Good.
R.I.P. Jalen.
Toby, come over to the red chairs.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, make a team! Make a team! You guys need to have.
How much is the team? That sounds like what does that sound like? Oh, can I do it?
There's 15 junior hires in the room right now, so we need teams of 3. Teams of 3. Make a team of 3.
Somebody come at me on our
And then make up a name.
What about
Make a
the
team
one
of 3
team of
and then make
4?
up a name for your team.
Oh, let's be the puppy unicorn dog puppy.
That's a little long. I gotta fit 5 of those up there.
The bagels. We have
That's the name of the game.
No, we have
No, we're gonna be fat penguins. Team White Gryffindor. Daniel. Daniel. People to a Daniel.
no, we have to
We
be
need
the
a fat
big
penguin. Daniel.
We have to be the
Daniel.
I can hear you. I'm just not answering you.
Answer me.
It's called patience.
I have that.
Just exercise it. Gotta work it out.
If you have it.
No, that's not how exercise works. Alright guys, we're gonna be playing soup or bowl tonight. And I need 5 team names. So, if you have a team of 3 or 2 because someone refuses to join your team out of spite, then pick a team name. Pick a team name. Alright, team number 1 over here, what's your team name?
Fat penguin.
Fat Penguins it is. Fat Penguins, there are going to be 10 chances to guess a correct answer. You must wager how many you think you will get correct.
7.
Think about it. Talk about it. All right. Do you guys have a third member?
No, we did not.
Is there anyone without a team? Would you be willing to join your team for fun and prizes and profit?
What? What is the prize?
Profit.
You'll get to find out.
Is it something from the
I'm
snack
getting team
box?
names first.
Is it soup?
That would be a spicy surprise right there. All right, team of 3, talk about your team name. Figure it out. Other team of 3 I am now currently pointing at. What is your team name?
The imported bagels.
Imported bagels?
Yeah.
The Slytherin.
All bagels are important.
Imported, I believe. It was imported, right?
You just
As in from another
Emily.
country?
Yeah.
Okay, what did I call?
You called her Emily.
Who?
Pass it back.
You passed it on.
Did I?
Emily.
Yeah.
I'm not sure of that.
You just called
Daniel.
her Emily.
I'm not sure I said any names, to be honest. Okay, we've got imported bagels. Team of 3 over here, do you have a
You're
name?
supposed to poke him.
What the heck? Your mom loves gummy bears.
Your mom loves gummy bears.
I love
That's
gummy
a
bears.
red name if ever I heard one.
Dang it.
They ruined it. How did I ruin it? Let's do.
Yes. They're actually meant.
Okay, there we go. Back to you guys. Do you have a team name yet, you 3?
Pineapple, pin,
Do you guys have a team name? I'm sorry.
Slytherin.
The Slytherin? Very fair.
That's copyrighted.
That's copyrighted. Our YouTube video is going to get taken down because of that. I just know it.
Phoenix eyes.
Slytherin.
I'm gonna copyright.
How do we spell Slytherin?
Slitheren. It might not sound.
That doesn't seem right.
I
It says
call
it on my
shenanigans.
jacket, but I
Call
can't read
shenanigans.
cursive.
What's your team name?
The boxes.
The Boxes. Beauteous. Just beauteous.
I love No, but then we go like this.
All right, now, all 5 teams, you must decide how many of 10 answers you think you're going to guess correctly. How many of 10 answers do you think you're going to guess correctly? Now, this is how this works. If you get more right than what you guess, then you get the grace prize. So if you overshoot your guess, you're like, oh, we're gonna get like 1 right, and then you get like 2 right, you get the cheapo prize. Okay. If you get less than you guess, so like you guess, oh, we'll get 5, and then you get 1, then you get no prize, 0, zilch, nada. If you nail your guess right on the money, guess exactly correct, then you get the awesome prize.
Yay.
I cannot tell you. Now, the trick to this is, if you guess 0, all of the questions are multiple choice. So you would actually have to work just as hard to get 0 as you would to get 10. Right? Getting 0 means you have to get every single question wrong.
Wait, what?
So don't just immediately say, we'll get 0, because that's not going to work in your favor. Does that make sense? You have to try and actually get this. You can join a team.
Then you get it, right?
There are 5 teams already. Just pick a set of 3 people and join it. Become a 4th. Boom! There you go. Scoot over so you can be with them. Elise?
Because if you play, then they would be a team.
Okay, so you guys must decide how many you think you will get correctly.
Wait, how many are there?
There are 10 questions. They are all A-B questions. The answer will always be soup or bowl. Every question is either soup or bowl. That is always the answer. One of those 2. So there are 10 instances where you're going to have to guess the answer.
The bottom one.
That is not an option. That is just declaration. Yes. How many does your team think you will get?
3.
He thinks 3. So we're going to put the fat penguins down for 3. All right. Slytherin.
6.
She says 6. What do you guys think? 6?
With an eye.
Okay. Slytherin,
2, 5 eyes.
6. That's a 2. He said 2. It's stuck in my brain. Okay. 6. There we go. Okay. Imported bagels.
5.
Oh, that's a
5. Imported bagels says 5.
Portal bagels? We are the importal bagels.
Your mama loves gummy bears.
7.
7. Shooting for the stars here, ladies and gentlemen. 7 and boxes. 4. It's a good round number.
Wait, the boxes?
That's
Yep.
our name.
Boxes.
I wouldn't be at a
4. Okay, there we go. What we're going to do is we're going to write under your team the S or the B for soup or bowl every time you answer. And if you got it right, we'll circle it. And if you get it wrong, we'll cross it. And then at the end, we'll be able to see your scores very easily. Okay, you guys ready? Here we go. Does anybody want to come Vanna White this board?
What? What?
All right, guys, talk it over with your team. Is that a soup or is that a bowl?
That is a soup. That's bowl. That's a bowl.
Talk it over with your team. Figure it out. Figure it out. Soup or bowl? You must be unanimous. None of this 2 versus 1 nonsense.
So, wait, what did you say?
All right, I want to see all 3 hands, or 4 as the case may be, from your team when you guys are ready for your answer to be said. Yes.
Soup.
Soup. And you guys are the imported bagel, so we'll write your S in blue. Imported bagel says soup.
Wait, what did we say?
Okay. And this team, is everyone ready?
I don't know.
Okay, what do you guys say it is?
Soup.
You guys say soup, and you're the fat penguins?
Yeah, we got it right.
Okay, so fat penguins, we got soup. Okay. Yes, Slytherin.
Soup.
What do you guys think it is?
Bowl.
A bowl? Okay. Going with bowl for Slytherin.
Bowl.
Okay. And then for the Yo Mama Loves Gummy Bears?
Soup.
Soup. And you guys are red. Okay. And then boxes. What do you think?
Bowl.
Bowl. And we have Peanut Gallery. Peanut Gallery? Bowl. He says bowl.
Wait, do you
Does any of my leaders want to come up and do this?
Yeah.
Where you just write S or B, and then once we reveal the answer, you just cross out the wrong ones, circle the right ones. All right, here we go. So I've just been matching the letter to the color of the team. that it's coming from.
Alright, so wait, what's going on?
Very fancy.
Super Bowl.
Just the fanciest. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Soup or bowl? It's soup. I feel so good inside because that means the peanut gallery is wrong.
Tomato soup.
Well done. Well done. All right, so soup gets a circle, bowl gets a cross, and we move on. Number 2, soup or bowl?
Kinda looks like it's
Okay, you get 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna go backwards this time to make it fair. This team. Boxes. What's your vote? Boxes. Oh, Jonathan, pick a team. Crash that team. Boxes. What's your vote? Boxes. Okay, are you all unanimous on soup?
Yeah.
Okay, soup for the boxes, and then for the Your Mama Loves Gummy Bears, what do you say? Bowl? Bowl for the Your Mama Loves Gummy Bears? Okay, and then for the imported bagels? Soup for the imported bagels.
We are imported bagels.
And then for Slytherin, what do you think? Bowl for Slytherin? Okay, bowl for Slytherin. And then for Fat Penguins, bowl as well. Bowl for Fat Penguins. I would love to go bowling for Fat Penguins. Yes, Peanut Gallery.
You would?
A bowl for the Peanut Gallery. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the correct answer is a bowl.
Told you, Peg.
Very nice. Very nice. Circle those B's, cross those S's. Next one, talk it over, think it out. Figure. Use your brain. We're going to start over here on this side. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fat Penguins, what do you think it is? Bowl for the Fat Penguins. And Slytherin. Soup for Slytherin. And then for the imported bagels. Soup for the imported bagels. Okay, wait, that's a red S. That doesn't make any sense. She's doing so good. All right, and then for Your Mama Loves Gummy Bears. Bowl for Your Mama Loves Gummy Bears. Peanut Gallery. Soup for Peanut Gallery. All right, and for the boxes. Soup. We're going with soup. Soup for the peanut gallery. Oh, you want to change your answer now?
No.
You sure?
It's fine.
Okay, we're going with soup for the boxes. Here we go. The correct answer: split pea soup. So it is soup. Circle those S's.
It's a bowl.
Circle those S's. Cross those B's. Very nice.
Daniel, it's a bowl of soup, so technically it's both.
Every soup is in a bowl if it's not in a pot. But we're not talking about the whole picture. We're talking about the part you get to see. What is in the crop? Right here. What is in that crop? That's the question. Obviously, some bowls have soup in them. Some soup is in a bowl. That doesn't matter. What is right there that is that color? Is that soup or is that a bowl?
That's a pot.
That is the question. All right, boxes. I think you're up first. Boxes. They say bowl. Boxes say bowl. Your Mama Loves Gummy Bears. What is it? Hurry, Your Mama Loves Gummy Bears. Weston, you can crash any team you want. We got 5 teams out here. Or you could join the Peanut Gallery. They get nothing, but they play for fun. All right, Your Mama Loves Gummy Bears says bowl. Imported bagels. Bowl for imported bagels. Slytherin. Bowl for Slytherin. And Fat Penguins. Bowl for Fat Penguins. That is bowls across the board. Peanut Gallery, what will it be? The correct answer is blueberry soup. What? Yeah.
That's not natural.
That is not.
If you have the urge to argue, you can go ahead and just read what it says on the screen. All right, and the next image.
What?
Soup or bowl?
That is ice cream. Just join the team.
Well, not if it's made like soup, right? You make soup on the stove, right? You make soup on the stove by boiling it down. Okay, we're starting over here with Fat Penguins. Super Bowl, Fat Penguins.
It's
A bowl for the Fat Penguins. Slytherin, what'll it be? Bowl for the Fat Penguins. No, wait, I said that one. Bowl for Slytherin. Thank you, Hannah. Imported bagels, what'll it be? Bowl. Just calm down. It's a bowl. They're certain. They feel like yelling. Okay, Your Mama Loves Gummy Bears. Bowl for Your Mama Loves Gummy Bears. Peanut Gallery. Bowl Boxes.
B-O-W-L
Bowl
all
again.
around, baby.
Okay, here we go. You guys are trying to do like test-taking math and like figure out the pattern. And there is no pattern.
Yeah, that's someone's like crazy.
Only what I want you to think. Only
Okay, let's
what I
go.
want you to think. Because the answer is bowl. We got solid bowl across the board both times. It's a beautiful thing. All right. Peanut Gallery got it right last time and this time. Way to go, Peanut Gallery. All right, next up, soup or bowl? Soup or bowl? Boxes, you're up first.
What does that even mean?
Oh, it's a bowl.
Bowl! Way to argue. All right. Very, very simple. Yes, Peanut Gallery. Soup, he says. And Yo Mama Loves Gummy Bears?
What is it?
Bowl. Have you joined the Yo Mama Loves Gummy Bears officially? Okay, cool. All right. Imported bagels. Bowl. Bowl for imported bagels. If anyone disagrees with Hunter, you can just kick him out now. Slytherin. Slytherin, what do they be? Soup for Slytherin. And Fat Penguins.
I disagree with you.
Is it Soup or Bowl?
Stop pooping. Stop. Stop it and poop. It's a bowl.
It's a bowl of poop.
Yes.
I believe that's B-O-P. You care to revise your answer? Because I guarantee that's not correct.
It's a ball.
There are only two correct answers. It's either soup or bowl.
B.
B for bowl. Okay. So we've got 4 bowls and 1 soup. It's down to Slytherin. Oh, sorry. Peanut Gallery claims soup. And the correct answer, it's a bowl. Well done, bowl voters. It is a bowl with bowl. Encrusted with opals or fake opals or fake opals, something. I don't really know what's happening there. Anyway, next image. Here we go. Soup or bowl?
You can see the like reflection.
Look at that finely polished surface on that soup. Because I'm inside your head, Jonathan. I'm inside your head. Alright, first up is going to be the Fat Penguins. He says soup. Slytherin, what you think? Bowl for Slytherin. How about those imported bagels? How are they doing? Imported bagels, how are you guys doing? You're doing soup. Okay, they're doing soup. Alright, and over here for the Your Mama Loves Gummy Bears. A bowl for Your Mama Loves Gummy Bears. Peanut gallery, what will it be? Soup, they say. Boxes?
Bowl.
A bowl. Alright, a bowl for the boxes. And we've got soup, soup, bowl, bowl. Here we go. It's a bowl! Yes, sir. Oh, what number is that? All right, good.
Wait,
Here we go. Yes.
if we get a bumper mark, we get the thing over
If you get above your mark, you get a wimpy prize. If you get below your mark, you get nothing. If you hit your mark, you win the big prize. So that is literally how you play the game, but it's just as hard to get the wrong answer as the right answer because you have to know the right answer, right? But you have to feel thought about it. Okay, you're doing good. You're doing good. All right, here we go. Next image.
Soup.
Yes.
What is this?
Yes.
All right, boxes.
Yes.
Soup. It's soup.
Bowl.
They're guessing bowl. Way to go, boxes. Peanut gallery. Bowl for the peanut gallery.
Hey,
Soup for Your Mama Loves Gummy Bears.
obviously
Imported bagels say bowl. Slytherin. What?
5 on the forget.
Slytherin.
Yes.
Soup, they say. Soup for Slytherin. Fat Penguins.
Wait, can we change our
Yes
answer?
is not a correct answer.
No, you
Guaranteed.
can't.
Soup. Boxes, you want to change your answer?
No, never mind.
Never mind. Back to Fat Penguins. You said soup?
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Soup for Fat Penguins. The correct answer is soup. Beef stew, y'all. See, this is in a pot, right? No balls included. Very nice. Okay. Next up, soup or bowl? Tricky. We're getting tricky. Starting over here with the Fat Penguins.
Yes. Again.
Fat Penguins, what will it be?
No.
You can't say yes or no. You have to say soup or bowl.
Okay.
Bowl! They say bowl. And Slytherin. Soup for Slytherin. Imported bagels say bowl. Bowl for the imported bagels. Yo mama loves gummy bears.
Coffee.
Soup for Yo mama loves gummy bears. Peanut gallery.
Survive 2 more. Actually, no, we have to.
Soup. Boxes.
Bowl.
Bowl for the boxes.
It's soup.
And the correct answer is soup. It is rice, mushroom, and beef soup. Just only the best soups for you guys. Only the best.
No, we got it right.
Darn it!
Oh my God, Daniel! A streak of 5 right.
Daniel,
Yes, sir.
do we have to go
And
through
ma'am.
all 10?
You have to answer. You can't quit answering. You'll be given an incorrect answer.
We're at 7.
So now you want to do something maybe a little different. Okay, here we go. On your marks, get set. Super Bowl.
That's obviously soup.
That's obvious.
By the way, this is the final answer.
It's
This is
a
it. This is the last one.
It's an orange. It's orange.
bowl. B-O-W-L.
All right, boxes, what'll it be?
Wait, didn't boxes start last time?
Did I go the wrong way? Who finished? Did you guys finish? Okay, sorry. That means you're first. Fat Penguins, you call a bowl?
Yes.
It's a bowl. They say. Slytherin, what do you think? Bowl as well.
Soup or bowl.
And imported bagels, what do you think? Soup, they claim. And what does the Yo Mama Loves Gummy Bears think? Bowl, Yo Mama Loves Gummy Bears. And peanut gallery. Bowl. And boxes. Bowl.
Soup.
The correct answer to the final question
It's soup.
We want to get it
is
wrong.
bowl.
No. What?
Correct answer is bowl.
Can we just all get that one right? I mean, wrong.
All right.
Daniel.
So now let's add them up. So crossing out the S's, circling the balls. All right, so Fat Penguins, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 correct answers for the Fat Penguins. Fat Penguins, you get the runner-up prize. People in kitchen, be ready. Fat Penguins, you get to go choose an Otter Pop out of the freezer.
I don't know.
Go Fat Penguins, go. All right, imported bagels, you claimed 5. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, which means imported bagels, you get nothing. I still love you though. Yo Mama Loves Gummy Bears, you got, you claimed 7. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which means
Weston made us get it wrong.
you get Otter Pops from the freezer.
Daniel, wait.
Yes.
If that's a bowl, then why does it say corn chowder?
That is because the person who created this slide was wrong and claimed that bread was a soup.
It is.
Bread is a soup.
No.
Go ahead, write that paper. I will read that paper. I will read that paper.
Daniel.
Okay.
Wait, Daniel.
I'm glad someone noticed though. I had to remake that slide. I didn't do perfectly. Okay. Team Slytherin, you claimed 6. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, which means you get Otter Pops from the freezer. And boxes, you claimed 4. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means you get Otter Pops from the freezer. And no one gets to find out what the grand prize was.
Can you tell
It
us?
will remain a mystery.
Come on!
Good day.
Can you tell us on Sunday?
Oh.
No, definitely not.
Wait, are we actually doing it?
What are all those people?
Yes.
Yeah, Elisa's is here. Elisa? No, not Elisa. Elise.
I said that.
Sure.
I call Elisa Elise, and then I call Elise Elisa.
Did Hunter run off with someone's Otter Pops?
He ran off with Weston's Otter Pop and now they're downstairs.
Oh, good.
Dude!
You don't know. Right? But I don't think you remember. And
Yeah, I
he's not
do.
going to say it out loud.
Yeah, I do. I remember. And I'm not gonna say it out loud. Yeah, I do.
Birthday boy.
Happy birthday!
Seriously, so I missed
And we got super big
Happy
cupcakes.
birthday.
We got super. Oh, he doesn't like when people say that.
You're 16.
You can get another out.
He's 15.
Yeah, he's 16. And
Sorry, it was a bowl.
don't apologize.
Malachi, I thought you were going to sing. I didn't say that. You said
thought
that.
you were
I wanna
gonna
sing. I'm gonna
But I
sing
guess
Let
you
It Go.
didn't.
I'll sing.
You will?
No.
You said I would sing. I didn't say I would sing.
And guess what? I got a haircut.
I'm the only one that.
Whoa!
I didn't even do this.
Wait a minute, where's the Caleb sitting right here?
No, you were gonna wait, Caleb.
Oh yeah, Caleb was right here.
Oh, I thought you meant hair.
You all did so good, so you did too good.
Yeah.
You got the nose right.
So retarded.
I still don't think that should count. Your mouth. You want that.
Okay.
Life isn't
Where
fair.
you're plugged in.
Yeah, it is. Look how fair I just got this auto.
Actually, I'm not.
Elisa's singing
Weston,
with
do
you.
you need help?
I'm singing with you.
I think.
Elisa, we're singing with you.
Actually, no,
Elisa.
you're in yellow. You're in yellow.
Tessa,
None of these people are
I don't
yellow.
want
He's
it
throwing me
anymore.
off. It's like all blues and blues.
I
Throw
picked
this away on
big
yourself.
bucks for that. Okay,
Or
never
on
mind.
yourself, I mean.
What? No, Matt, those are both yours.
So, I didn't have two.
You thought maybe
If you don't want it, Ashley will have
You're
it.
throwing
My
this away.
fingers are
Throw this away.
No, wait, we're singing with you. Elisa.
I'm literally littering so much.
How are you guys doing on those
Everybody's
iPods?
a litter.
Elisa, can we sing with you?
Can you sing with me?
Can we sing Let It Go with
I
me?
mean,
You.
a large part of the point of worshiping through song is to sing. Yeah. I mean, you don't have
No,
to sing.
Matt, I have my
You can
fingers
worship in your
crossed.
heart too. But yeah, you're very much more than welcome to sing.
No, we
I don't either. 'Cause my singing-
Malachi.
They do.
Is this a different straw? No.
Okay.
Pro. Danielle.
Pick up your trash.
Can you guys hear me?
When you guys are done with your otter pops, put the wrapper in the trash, please. Don't just leave it on the floor.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was actually about to say that.
Actually, no,
Because
no.
I noticed they were going underneath the chairs, and I knew that they would be forgotten.
Okay, I'll make sure to forget it. Take that.
Okay, by a show of hands, who still has their otter pop?
No, not anymore.
Okay, that's pretty good. Just like if you're still like snacking on it while we're praying and like starting to worship, you can just like really quietly get up and go from there and come back down.
Really quietly.
Does any,
Nothing.
let's see, hey
I
Jay,
could ever
or actually no,
Cause
Hannah,
no,
do you want to get the lights for me?
can
Thank you.
compare
What was
our-
that? Why is she? Why is that? Oh, that's Ow.
Or
Your
were they already
living
off?
hope,
'Cause
your
you can
presence,
They were
Lord.
already good.
Maybe they were good. Never mind. I
There
don't
is
know.
nothing.
Okay.
I'm singing. I'm singing.
Does anyone want to open us up in prayer?
Yes.
Oh yeah. Sorry to see your hand.
Lord, thank you for today, and I thank you for all these kids that come here just to be filled up with you, and that I pray that they can be filled up with you today, and I pray that worship, we can understand the words, and that we can take them to heart, and that with the Bible study, that we can understand the Bible more deeply and learn to love it more. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thank you. There's nothing worth more that will ever come close. Nothing can compare. You're our living gold. Your presence. I've tasted and seen of the sweetest of loves, when my heart becomes free and my shame is undone. Your fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be overcome by your presence, Lord. There's nothing worth more that will ever come close. Nothing can compare. You're our living hope. Your presence, Lord. I've tasted and seen of the sweetest of loves, when my heart becomes free and my shame is undone. Your presence, Lord. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be overcome by your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord. Let us become more aware of your presence. Let us experience the glory of your goodness. Let us become more aware of your presence. Let us experience the glory of your goodness. Let us become more aware of your presence. Let us experience the glory of your goodness. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be overcome by your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord. Love is amazing, steady and unchanging. Your love is a mountain from beneath my feet. Your love is a mystery, how you gently lift me when I am surrounded. Your love carries me. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Your love makes me sing. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Your love makes me sing. Your love is surprising, I can feel it rising. All the joy that's growing deep inside of me. Every time I see you, all your goodness shines through. I can feel this God song rising up in me. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. changing. Your love is a mountain from beneath my feet. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Your love makes me sing. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Your love makes me sing. You guys stand for the last one, please?
What I what?
There's a place where mercy reigns and never dies. There's a place where streams of grace flow deep and wide. Where all the love I've ever found comes like a flood, comes flowing down. At the cross, I surrender my life. I'm in awe of you. I'm in awe of you. Where your love ran red and my sin was Jesus. And there's a place where sin and shame are powerless. My heart has peace with God and forgiveness. Where all the love I've ever found, it comes like a flood, comes flowing down. At the cross, I surrender. Your love ran red and my sin washed white. I owe all to you. I owe all to you, Jesus. Here my hope is found. Here on holy ground. Here I bow down. Here I bow. Here arms open wide. Here you save my life. Here I bow down. Here I bow at the cross, at the cross. I'm in awe of you. Where your love ran red and my sin washed white. I owe all to you. I owe all to you, Jesus. I owe all to you. I owe all. This evening to go well and help us to take something home from it. Pray this in your name, Jesus. Amen.
Thank you, Elise.
A few different switches. It's working.
Well, that's okay though.
Daniel, we've already watched this video.
Hey, stop.
Oh yeah, right. Oh yeah, right. I'm not mad.
Hi, Dad. And Mom.
You guys feel that cool crisp in the air?
Hey, look. No, can you give me?
It's because it's Christmas.
It's past Christmas. Oh no, candles. You got me. You got me.
Do you guys not know what Luke chapter 2 is?
It's Jesus' birth. Dude, it wasn't Christmas yet.
tuned right to it.
We should have like.
Now hold the phone. That word means gathering, celebrate Christ.
Jesus Christ.
So like,
Well, wait.
so like,
Did that actually happen on the day of his birth, though?
well, the shepherds did.
Okay.
Not like the wise men.
I love
They were like a year late.
Well, yeah, I know.
They were crazy late. All right, guys, we're gonna be in Luke chapter 2 today. We're gonna cover from verse 1 down to 20.
Luke chapter 2.
And that is essentially
Are we
the
watching
Christmas
a video?
story. That is essentially what that is. Chapter 2, verses 1 through 20 is the Christmas story. So next Christmas, you'll know what to read. Luke chapter 2, verses 1 through 20. We'll
What
be
we
right back.
read every Christmas.
Good job. That's fantastic.
Oh,
You have a hat, but it looks
We
like a Bible.
memorized it. You want me to recite it to you?
No,
Did you
that's
really?
literally
It's a
our
holy
life.
hat.
God so loved the world.
That's not even
Remember at the end of the play we had to say it?
No, we
right.
did. So I
Right.
memorized it. Let me say mine. Wait, what was it?
Hey, so funny story.
That's a daddy.
Hope Academy did a play.
Who's Hope Academy?
I don't even know. Last year, and we went to go
It was
see it,
this
and it was
year.
awesome.
No, it was 19.
I had
It was definitely 2019.
It was
I am 100% certain it was 2019 because that night is the night Emily went into labor. So like we're all here just like talking to people. Hi, how's it going? Emily's pregnant, and everyone's just like, "Hi, Emily. Hey, look like you're about to pop." You know, everyone's like making jokes, and then like that night, that's when she goes in labor, and then Emma was born.
Wait, really?
Yeah, that was that night.
Oh, that was a good last play.
I know, it was great. Live.
Actually, it was a...
And then it was like a 2-hour labor, so it was super short. It's awesome. Okay, so tonight we're going to be looking at someone else's labor. We're going to be looking at Mary's labor.
Okay, good night.
Who knows if it was 2 hours long? I have no idea. But we're going to be covering that tonight in our video as well, so let's skip to it.
You said video.
Let's skip to that. Yes,
So the problem is that we already watched the video.
Oh.
that is a problem, Matt. That is
That's a big problem.
I hope to rectify it by watching the video.
Yeah, we already watched it.
I know, but we're going to fix it. We're going to fix it by watching the video.
That doesn't make sense.
Are you ready, Matt? Here we go. Here we go. Is it got sound? That's all I
No,
want
we
to know.
literally watched this like 10 times.
Daniel, we've already watched this.
Issued a decree.
You can't really see it either.
Okay, we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back.
A little quiet.
Always something.
Quickly make this one.
All right, one more try.
Move down.
In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken of the entire Roman world. This was the first census that took place while Quirinius was governor of Syria, and everyone went to their own town to register. So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to Bethlehem, town of David, because he belonged to the house and line of David. He went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him and was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born. And she gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in cloths and placed him in a manger, because there was no guest room available for them. And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. Today in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign to you. You will find a baby wrapped in cloths and lying in a manger." Suddenly, a great company of the heavenly host appeared with the angel, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace to those on whom his favor rests." shepherds said to one another, "Let's go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has happened, which the Lord has told us about." So they hurried off and found Mary and Joseph and the baby, who was lying in the manger. When they had seen him, they spread the word concerning what had been told them about this child, and all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds said to them. But Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things they had heard and seen, which were just as they had been told.
All right.
You need to be quiet.
So there's
Right.
Matt's losing his identity. You guys gotta quit.
The what?
All right, so there's a cool thing I want to tell you guys. I learned this Christmas that I didn't know about the story because, like, I can't even tell you how many times I've taught this story. It's really old as stories go, and like Christmas has been around for longer than I've been alive. So as long as I've been teaching Sunday school or kids or junior high or whatever, I've been teaching this. Do you know what it is? Did I tell you? What did I learn this Christmas?
There were 3 Malachi.
It's the manger thing.
Malachi is pulling my finger.
All right.
You didn't know that I was born in a week?
Who did? Me? No. It's about the manger itself. There's something special about the manger.
I am?
So, there's a cool old prophecy back in Micah. I don't know, you guys are probably familiar with this one. This is Micah 5:2. It says, "But you, O Bethlehem, Ephrathah, you who are too little to be among the clans of Judah, from you shall come forth for me one who is to be ruler in Israel, whose coming forth is from of old, from ancient days." That is the prophecy that told us where the Messiah was going to be born. And that prophecy is from the Old Testament. It came way before Jesus came. And people knew for a long time, based on that prophecy, that the Messiah, the Christ, would be born in Bethlehem. So that was like a thing. People knew that for like a long time. People knew even before that prophecy that it was going to come from the line of David. And David's line was from Bethlehem. So Bethlehem made total sense. Everyone got that. Totally awesome. But later in that, earlier in the chapter just before, Micah 4:8, it says this other verse, and most people missed this. Most people did not get this bit. Most people did not understand what this prophecy meant. And it is this. It says, "And you, O tower of the flock," and that's weird, we'll come back to that. "O tower of the flock, hill of the daughter of Zion, to you shall it come, the former dominion shall come, kingship for the daughter of Jerusalem." Okay, so no, this is a really weird prophecy, doesn't make a ton of sense, but it starts to, as you look back through history, that spot on the planet is actually called that. There's a place, it's a tower, right outside Bethlehem, it's actually called Tower of the Flock. It's literally the name of the tower. And that translates to some funky, weird Hebrew I probably can't pronounce. But it's been called that, and it's been in that spot since before King David. That spot, named that exact name, has been there at least as far back as Rebekah's death. That spot is known as the place where Rebekah, Isaac's wife, gets buried, or at least dies. I forget exactly what. But anyways, it's in Genesis 35. You can go look it up. So all the way back in Genesis, this spot gets named. And so it's been named that the whole time. It's never changed. And then in Micah, towards the end of the Old Testament, it says, "From you, O tower of the flock, is going to come the king." That's where it's going to come from. And this is weird because we get to the story of Jesus' birth, and everyone seemingly forgets this prophecy or didn't know this prophecy. And then it mentions how they went through all of Bethlehem, and they couldn't find a spot, and they ended up staying with the animals. And he ended up being born in a manger. And then it says the angels go to some shepherds. Now, if you know the ancient history around Jerusalem and around Bethlehem, then there's a little factoid that you get to know, and everyone else is like, whatever. And that is that between Jerusalem and Bethlehem is a specific giant pasture land that is reserved for the temple sheep. Only temple sheep were allowed to graze there in that specific spot. So if you were north of Bethlehem, all the way up to Jerusalem, it's all temple sheep. And the only shepherds who got to bring their sheep there were priest shepherds. They were both, a priest and a shepherd. And they specifically raised sheep for the purpose of hoping to get a perfect lamb they could use for the sacrifices in the temple. This is like their one and only job. And if the angels went to shepherds outside Bethlehem, and those shepherds were told to go look in a manger, then that's who the shepherds would be, and that would be the nearest manger. Now, there's probably other mangers around town, plenty of them, but that's the nearest manger to that field outside Bethlehem. Yeah,
Are we doing small groups?
we are gonna. I'm just about done. Very close.
I can't handle this anymore.
I'm sorry, Matt. You're gonna have to. So this is the whole point. That particular manger, if that happens to be the manger that Jesus gets laid in, that is really cool because of what that manger was used for previously. For the last several hundred years, that manger was specifically reserved to take perfect lambs the second they were born and stick them in. And they would have to hang out in that manger until it was time to be taken off to the temple and sacrificed. So this one particular manger on the whole planet was the one where you would put aside perfect lambs, and then they would go up to Jerusalem to be sacrificed. And then this is the same manger that Jesus gets laid in when he's born. That's pretty darn cool. So I learned that this Christmas. I didn't know that before. I thought that was pretty neat. So Jesus didn't just get laid in some rando manger. Like, he got laid specifically in the temple sacrifice manger, which is really cool. That also means when the shepherds were told, you know, hey, there's a baby, he's born and he's been laid in the manger, those shepherds also weren't rando shepherds. They were the shepherds who used that manger.
And they knew which manger to go to.
They would absolutely know also the symbolism of a baby getting put there. Like, the only other baby things that get put in this are sacrifices. All the baby lambs that got put in that manger previously were all sacrificial lambs.
Did it have blood in it?
Well, funny you should ask. They frequently wrapped up the baby lambs in cloth so that lamb would never touch soil ever. It would be born into an armful of cloth, they would catch it, and they would wrap it in cloth, and that lamb would get put in the manger, wrapped in cloth, it would never touch the ground. So that it would absolutely 100% be blemish-free, like no dirt even in its wool, okay? But the cloths they would use would be leftover priest robes from the temple, which would only be turned into leftovers if they got stained by blood during the sacrifice, which is why you couldn't use them anymore. So I don't know where Mary got her cloths to wrap up Jesus, but if she got them from that animal shed, the Tower of the Flock, then there would be blood in that manger, and it would be blood from sacrificial lambs.
So baby Jesus was
It gets crazier the more you look at it. So I don't know though. I don't know if she brought her own cloths from home or what. I have no idea. Doesn't
or
say.
she made her
But
cloth right there.
she gets out the loom while she's giving birth, starts spinning the wheel, moving that loom shuttle. That's a mom for you. That's a real mom for you right there. Okay, so we're going to break into some small groups. I just thought I'd give you guys a couple more nuggets of coolness there. We have 2 girl leaders, 2 guy leaders, and we had, what was it, 17 middle schoolers?
We have 15.
I have
So
a
how many girls is that?
question.
1,
Why don't
2,
the
3,
girls
4,
ever get to sit over
5,
here?
6, 7, 8, 9.
Because those are the ones that always get left out
1,
first.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 boys. So I guess there was actually 18. I miscounted how many came in late.
Oh my
Okay,
goodness.
so 18, 9 and 9. So a group of 5, a group of 4, a group of 5, a group of 4.
5s and 4s.
5s and 4s.
5 and
4.
3s.
All right, pick a leader. Go mom.
You can pick me.
Bring your Bible. Leaders, I'm sorry I didn't print anything. I printed
I'm
nothing.
gonna pick Jeremy.
Come to Daniel.
So you have to be
I'm not
lucky.
getting kicked out again.
Please. Come to Daniel.
Kicked out twice.
Okay, I'm not going to Daniel.
Jeremiah.
I'm right here. Just come to me. Grab a chair, grab a Bible.
Yeah, you're over there.
Jeremiah, I'm gonna sit right there. Jeremiah, I was gonna sit right there.
I'm
No,
sitting
you're
here.
over there. You're over there.
No, I'm
You
not.
Too late,
are
Matt.
over there.
It's too late, Matt.
Matt, you are over there.
Oh, my head is right there.
It is. It's underneath my butt.
You don't have to go over one chair.
Don't die. That's also my business.
I'm literally sitting in front of the camera the
It
whole
is not
time.
your
my
business.
I'm sitting in front of the camera the whole
It is my
time.
business.
Or I'm sitting in.
All right.
I'm sitting in.
If I die, letters like Yosemite is not your business.
I need name refreshers.
Oh, hi.
Let's go around the circle.
What's
My
his
name's in
name?
the Bible.
I know some names.
What's a name?
Let's go with some. I know some names.
I bet
Oh,
you
it's
know
upstairs.
Okay,
I do know Weston. I've known him for a very long time. All right, let's go around the circle.
I bet you don't know me.
Does anyone know my name?
Yes.
What's my name?
It's like a giant.
Don't mock me.
Oh my
Don't
god.
mock me if you forget my name.
Oh my god, now I just
Some people forget names, and that's okay.
I know what it
Just
is.
go with it. That is his name.
Daniel Cuneo.
Cuneo. Cuneo.
No, it's Cuneo.
It's a town in Italy. They know how to
Cuneo.
pronounce it. I asked them. It's Cuneo.
It's Cuneo.
Okay. Your name?
Hey Siri. Landon.
Landon. Your
Huh?
name?
Who's Landon?
Your name is in the Bible? Is it Malachi?
Who's Landon?
Could you just tell him his name is Malachi? Okay, good. Good. His name's Malachi. He told you. What's your name?
Wait, I want to say my name.
Weston. My name's Daniel.
Can I say my name?
Yeah, I know it is. All right, what's your name?
No one can hear. This is a really secret one.
All return to their own ancestral towns.
Barmatthew?
It's
It's like Bartholomew, but it's Barmatthew.
Hey, that was my friend's name in
Barmatthew
kindergarten.
was your friend's name?
In D&D, not in real life.
David's ancient homes. He traveled there.
Okay, let's do it again.
One sec,
Weston,
one
you should
sec.
join the circle if you're gonna actually like be in that group.
Sign me
Sign me Owen. Sign me up. It's Simeon.
Simeon.
Sign me
My name
up.
is a
I don't
prophecy
care
of
if I do it or
Simeon
not.
or whatever.
Okay, guys.
Sign me up
Let's go ahead and read
for
some.
the Mars
Find
mission
chapter 2.
I already
Read
did.
the
Have
Flight of Mars.
Matthew speed read all
Flight of
of it.
Mars.
Oh yeah, remember I
So
Reddited all of
it's
it?
a vacation thing. You're
At
gonna
the
be
Roman
able to
Empire,
take a
I don't-
vacation on
Remember I sped Reddited
Somebody.
all of it? Here, let me sped.
You're able to-
At that time,
Matt, I didn't ask you to speed read. But you can read. You can read verses 1 through
Is that,
7.
after we do this, can I read it all?
No, but you can read 1 through 7 if you
Yeah,
want.
like after we're done.
No, but you can read 1 through 7 if you want.
Like we did on Sunday.
That was insane.
That was awesome.
I'm done.
I couldn't
Okay, guys. Matt, I'm waiting.
Huh? Oh, I'm supposed to
Read
read
1
all?
through 7.
1 through 7 already?
Yeah.
Wait, what? We're gonna
Do it.
Wait, fast?
Just read it.
What?
I'll stop you if you do it wrong.
At that time, the Roman Empire.
Keep going.
I don't know.
Emperor.
It is emperor. It's not
Oh,
empire.
okay. At that time,
I'm trying to go too fast. Just go
Let me
natural.
At that time, the
Let
Roman Empire Augustus decreed that a census should be taken throughout the Roman Empire. This was the first census taken while Quirinius was governor of Syria. All
He's just
returned-
making up the name because he doesn't know how to pronounce it. It's
So-
Quirinius.
Quirinius was governor of Syria. All returned to their own ancestral towns to register for the census. And because Joseph was a descendant of King David, he had to go to Bethlehem in Judea.
Mhm.
David's ancestral
Ancient.
ancient
I'd
home.
say it was for
He traveled there from the village of Nazareth
a
in Galilee.
certain
He took
timing.
with him his Mary, his
Because
fiancée.
like during the
No,
census,
obviously,
well,
uh,
Joseph had to go
obviously
to
pregnant.
Bethlehem.
Yeah, obviously.
And you know that's what Daniel said
And well,
about,
they-
like how it was
You're doing great.
right next to this hill and shepherds.
And while they were there, the
and
time
all the
came
symbolism.
for her baby to be born.
It's okay. You just got stuck.
It's fine.
Everyone gets stuck
She
sometimes.
gave birth to her first child, a son. She wrapped him in snugly in. She wrapped him. What?
Snugly.
Where?
You wrapped him snugly. It's not snugly with 2 G's.
She wrapped him snugly.
So you're saying
Snu-
It's 1 G.
you just
Snug-
said it snugly with 2 G's.
No, I said it's
Snugly.
not 2
What
G's.
did you
It's
say?
snug.
Snugly.
Snugly
Alright, perfect timing.
in strips of cloth and lied or whatever in him in a manger because there was no lodging available for them.
It's parenting.
It's definitely not lodging. There's no hits lodging. Okay, question 1. Think of some reasons why God might have waited until this time for his son to be born.
Because
when they were out.
Why would God wait till this point in history? Yeah.
Quite possibly.
it's a good point.
If you work with what
They might
Planet
get
in
it.
They just, I
history,
don't know that they
he
lived in-
was born like that.
What is
What?
this?
He was born like that.
Yep. But the question is, why would God wait till this point in history? Because, you know, God's God. He could have Jesus be
Great
born
question too.
at any point in history. Yeah. He felt like it. That's a great answer.
Ooh, I know.
Weston?
Because this is like when
So you guys are like,
Israel needs them most? Okay.
This is like when they're like
Taking
going down,
pictures
like,
of
almost
right.
there. 'Cause now they're
You could
really-
definitely make that case.
you're
Yeah.
almost to the answer.
Because he wanted it to be in the New Testament.
Okay.
That's great. I love it. Okay, he could have just picked someone else, right?
What is this?
He didn't have to pick Mary.
Why is she taking pictures?
She's taking a picture of the questions because I didn't print out the questions. I
I'm
forgot
not
to print.
creepy.
She's doing
Sorry,
something
you're
good.
a stalker.
Dylan,
I'm not a stalker
stop.
either.
She's totally doing something good. Let her
No,
read.
stalkers.
Oh.
This is
I'm
not
not a stalker.
Shut up.
Guys, she's just taking a picture of the questions. Let her
Oh
read.
my
She's doing
gosh.
something good.
See?
Why does she
This
have
is
her
not
phone
good.
out?
Stop trying to
It's
give
not
her a
mine.
bad
Put
time.
your phone. Her phone's in the bucket.
It's not mine.
It's not good.
Okay. Any other ideas why this point in history was chosen? Because God totally has the power. He could have just had someone else become miraculously pregnant. He's done it before. Yeah.
Because he just wanted it to be like.
Matt, that's what I think.
Oh, yeah.
He literally said because he felt like it.
Oh, well, I didn't say that exact words.
That's true.
So, because. Wait,
Does anybody know what's happening in the Roman Empire at this point in history? When Emperor Augustus.
Persecution of
Nope, there was no Christians. Well, kind of, but not by Augustus.
Wait,
What is this?
oh,
You're just guessing
the
now.
counting thing where the people get counted.
Okay, that's good. That's
Like,
good.
we're having a-
Yeah, I mean, it totally gets her to Bethlehem, where Jesus is prophesied to be born.
Here's my
So that works. He could have just picked some gal in Bethlehem like 500 years ago.
It was prophesied.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, he could have picked anyone.
He
There's
could've
only
picked
500
somebody in
years ago?
Bethlehem.
I'm just saying, he could have.
I'm gonna go
He
back
could
to
have
the
picked it
future.
1,000 years ago.
Because he
Yeah.
wanted.
Joseph and
I think it just struck me. Or back to the verse.
I said there was
Uh-huh.
prophecy.
It says they have to
And then that
return
was up
to
in
their
this
own
time because of the census.
Ancestral.
ancestral count.
That's true. That's true.
And what-
That's essentially what God's
I
using
faced
right here.
prophecy,
I do.
and then I said,
That is.
No, you said
Alright, well, I've got some guesses. There's no clear answer. Just to give you guys some credit, you're doing great on guessing.
I know.
The Bible doesn't actually say in any verse, God chose this time because this reason.
I know.
I think
It's an
that's
opinion
really-
question.
thought
Yeah.
that happened.
It's just an opinion.
Because
There's no like 100% right, oh I know, because it says it here. It doesn't
Why do you
exist. There's no answer where God just says, here's why I chose
So
this.
I can say because I was born on my birthday, that's why.
Yeah, exactly.
There are a lot
That's
of
fine.
Well, I've got an
And
idea.
it doesn't make you any more right or wrong. It's
Maybe
just like that's your
God
opinion.
decides.
Maybe.
Daniel, I've got an idea.
It's
Yeah.
time for something.
Because it said it,
That
it's gonna be born
for some
to a
reason.
virgin.
That's true.
So,
He
like,
could have picked someone who
world
was a
is
virgin
ready
100 years
for-
ago.
or
This
like,
event.
what if there weren't any?
There's always
This is a
some.
thing that
I know,
needs
I know,
to happen.
I know,
Right
I know.
now.
Always.
Always.
I know that. I know for like
Because there's just new people that
super
grow up.
Can you think
good
of some
people.
examples?
happening.
So like,
Are you sure?
yeah. That's how it works.
What happened? Okay, cool.
Yes.
So,
I mean, I guess like
he
when
he
the beginning
was
of
born
the
back
world
then
created, I
because
mean,
he wanted it to be like a harder life or whatever because he didn't want to be treated like a king.
technically speaking,
Because
that
so he was like
time
born in a
that-
manger, and nowadays like
So how long would
probably
it-
there would there wouldn't be any
What about the
mangers.
flood?
There wouldn't be any mangers.
Okay, well that's a
And-
good answer
and
for
the
why he's not
people-
born
The
now.
people wouldn't like. Yeah.
That's not bad. I like that. Yeah. Why isn't he born today? Probably because he would be
Then like
born
the presidents.
more stuff
You're talking
around
about
him.
Daniel?
More
Yeah,
riches
the
and wealth.
president.
What about like because he was born, you know, we'll call it like 4 BC.
Oh yeah, oh my gosh. I just
What
had
if he was
to-
born
And- and
1004 BC
wait.
or 2004 BC?
And also he didn't.
Yeah, you're right. It wouldn't
He
be BC
also-
anymore.
He also wanted to wait till all the times would match up, so then we'd get a 2020 election.
He also wanted it so like
Most of the times that God does
to
this,
so then
it's
people would
something
have
to do
more
with
time
the
to
people
choose to become a
and
Christian.
where they're
Oh,
at
okay. That's
at
not bad.
that moment in time.
And yeah, like
I've got some guesses, and I think it's based on Rome. Before the before the Roman Empire, there wasn't good roads all over Europe.
There are things
Before the Roman
about,
Empire,
like,
there
the
wasn't
Babylonian
a
Persian
singular
empires
language
that,
spoken in a bunch of different countries.
have
Even though the language commonly spoken in the Roman Empire was Greek,
like
the Greek
periods of
people,
time that each of those empires get is
Alexander the Great,
and
they
He
weren't the
wasn't
ones
actually
who moved Greek as a language across the whole world. It was the Roman Empire. They moved
specifically
Greek across the
intended
whole
to
world.
be
Eventually
talking
Latin came
about
on the scene, but that's actually later in Rome's history. Latin is like a later invention of
the
theirs.
Israelites.
So
would be
Rome created a place
freed
on the
from
planet
those empires
where you
that
could
had
take the news of
overtaken them.
Jesus and you could spread
So
it
there
far and
are
wide
all
and it
these
wouldn't even be
different
hard. They
time
made the world
periods
into a place where you could write the New Testament
where
in one language and
God
like millions of
decides
people
to
could
do
read it.
something
And that was
decides to
not the
make a
case if you
specific
just go back one
big
empire,
change in the earth.
2 empires, 3 empires, and everything before that, everyone spoke their own language. You
Choose
always
people.
need translators. There was barely any written languages that
send them
everyone
into
could read. Like
captivity with the
the Roman
Babylonians.
Empire spread the language of Greek so far, so
He did
wide,
that
so fast.
because
They had such an amazing road structure, like no one had ever made before. You could
So
actually
there are
travel.
things in the
You could go
Bible that
places.
God does
Before, you get off a
because
boat on some new country
that's
shores, and
what
you had to like prove to them
the
you're
culture
trustworthy and you're
needs
good.
at
At
that
this point, if you're a Roman citizen, you can just go to some other country and be like, yeah, I'm a
So
Roman citizen.
what about
And it doesn't matter that you came from 5 countries over. They don't care
Jesus'
if you
time?
came from 5 countries over.
Nay.
You're
Are you
Roman.
late?
No, I had a
Nice.
basketball game.
Like
We missed you, Nate.
Nate, you gotta come over
What
here.
about the
I don't know
culture
how my
used
chair
to
got back
No,
there.
actually, you have to come over here.
I don't know how
I
my
don't
chair
either,
got
man.
back
I don't know
there.
how it happened.
So
Like,
should we go on to the second
What is
question?
this?
don't
It just
recall.
Yeah,
moved
let's read the
again.
second
there's a
set
verse
of
somewhere
verses.
about
You can. It's 8 through 12.
the time being
Oh,
right.
read it fast and read all the words wrong.
What do you think
That would be sad and bad.
about
There's
Yeah.
thy
You-
word.
I'm gonna nix you.
They're
That'll
about
be
Walmart.
next.
made that time right for this time?
Do you think Jesus would ever shop?
You're next. Alright, your turn. You get to
Okay.
read 8 through 12.
Wait, what was your question?
There were shepherds playing
I
field
guess
around guarding
I
the
guess
flocks of
one-
sheep.
What
So
is
the
this?
mighty angel of the Lord
Easier
appeared
for
among
him
them,
to
and
be
the radiance of
persecuted because people were more
the Lord
judgmental.
I know this.
Terrified, but the angel reassured them, "Do not be afraid." He said, "I bring you good news that will bring joy to all people. The Savior, yes, the Messiah, the Lord, has been born
Never done question.
today in Bethlehem, the city of David, and you will recognize him
Think
by
about
the
the
sign you will
They're
find a baby wrapped in
being oppressed by
snuggly and strips of
the
cloth,
Roman Empire.
lying in a manger."
Thank you.
What feelings do you think that
Wrapped
inspires?
snugly is like the modern
They're
translation of
being
swaddled.
oppressed by the Roman Empire.
But
Not everyone
swaddled is
knows.
better.
They're being
That's
Swaddled
the point.
sounds
Not
like
everyone
rape.
knows what swaddled means.
Swaddled sounds like
It
someone
literally
so
means you're
stripped.
wrapped tightly.
And
It's to
Around
keep
the
a baby's
neck.
arms down.
Oh,
Babies don't have full control of their arms. They just randomly
made up
flail.
rules.
And if you don't trim their nails, they will scratch their face open because they don't even know
all
what
of
they're
these
doing.
Whoa.
They have no idea what they're doing. So it's
They're not
very
even
common
fully
when they're first born
alive.
to snugly wrap them
Everyone
so their
is
arms are
Wait,
glued
so
to their
when
sides
they're-
of that blanket.
Oh.
And the blanket is just
When
like
they're born,
holding
they have
them down.
fingernails.
Oh yeah, they got
How
fingernails.
long? Like
They're not very strong. They're pretty flimsy, but they are really thin.
how long?
So
are
they're
they?
sharp. It depends on every baby's different. But like both my
When I was
girls were
born, my
born
fingernails were about like
with probably
10
like
feet.
4 millimeters of nail out past like where it's bonded to your finger. So they had really long nails, and so we had to actually like
What the?
So
trim them.
what, like this one?
That's not what 4 millimeters looks like, as
What
it
do you
turns out.
think
Like
about that?
like what you've got. Like that's
Like
2
this,
millimeters.
maybe?
Makes it-
Multiply
I don't
that
know.
by 2.
This is how big
The-
my
the white
fingernails
part,
were when I
you
was
know,
born.
sticking
So
out.
like
Multiply yours by
That's
2.
That's what my mom
Yeah,
said.
maybe like that one or that one. There's like that one.
huge.
Now they're much thinner and
Like 10
flimsier
inches. Or
than like a
20
grown
sharp.
person.
Well,
They are sharper, but they
I
also are
think they're
thin.
actually like 50
So like
feet.
if they scratch this way, it's fine, but then if they do this way, it's not fine.
Why? Because then he looks like
it's
a
like
star
it's like a
of
razor.
frustrated.
Like you can drag a razor across your face and you're
That'd
fine. But
be
if you
fun.
slide the razor sideways, it will cut
That'd be
you.
fun.
So, anyways,
They're looking
Then it
for
gets
Did
rid
we
of
know that?
Band-Aids.
so tons of people swaddle their babies when they're first born. They do it a lot of times for months and months and months, like
Whoa.
till they're much older, and they know how to move their arms, and they're not just like randomly slashing their face open. So, anyways, they just translate it wrapped snugly in strips of cloth.
Uh-huh.
That's a swaddle.
I knew you were gonna.
Yeah.
What the?
You raise your hand. What?
Raising hands is fun.
Are you sure?
Give me your hand.
Do you have anything to
I'm gonna
say?
raise it.
Any questions? Anything to add? You just like raising your hand? Okay, cool.
I love
Have fun
raising
with
my
that.
hand.
All right,
That's actually
question
the
number
most
2.
fun
It's not
thing
really a
ever.
question again.
Fun
Think of
thing
some
ever.
reasons why God might have told the
show them
shepherds
that
before
the
anyone
way
else.
that Pharisees are doing things is wrong. The way the
Like you said earlier, there
the
is
way all of these
signs.
groups are thinking is wrong.
Okay.
And there's
And
another way. There's a better
maybe
way.
God told them
There's
to go
God's
to the
way.
site.
And he's
Does anyone know why he would pick the shepherds?
Yep, 100%.
Why wouldn't he pick someone else?
and
Because
lead
they're
that.
the only ones that like know how to get in other places.
Oh, okay.
And
They're familiar with the tower.
Like have them like have a key.
Could be.
Unless you guys have any thoughts.
Mary and Joseph got it something.
Also, like I said,
No, dude, there's only a fence.
Alright, who wants
Yes?
to read
Yes.
verse
Wait, no, no.
So-
Just
So,
forget- there's no offense.
because like God said that, like, because God is like a shepherd guarding your flocks, and so He did that, because like that's what He said. So yeah.
No, that's not bad actually. There's something to be said for that. God frequently refers to himself as a shepherd,
Yeah.
and a good shepherd in particular. And he picks shepherds at several points in the Bible, like David. David was a shepherd when he lived in Bethlehem.
Isn't everyone a shepherd in this world?
I'm a shepherd.
Sheep.
Shepherd.
And the Bible even goes so far as to say some people are
makes them
sheep,
scared.
or wolves in sheep's clothing.
Like this.
Wolves sneak around wearing sheepskin, just like I'm a sheep.
That's a good idea. I'm gonna get a
Literally
pet
calls
wolf and
sheep
people
are
who
scared
come
in
into
churches just to mess with people.
Fur or whatever.
Wolves in
Like
sheep's
this.
clothing.
Question
They
2.
look like a sheep. They're wearing that wool real tight, real close,
I close my
underneath.
You blink.
know,
Do it again.
Red Riding Hood.
always has that metaphor.
It's a wolf in disguise.
What?
Like in the story of Red Riding Hood.
I don't know. 'Cause they're,
Oh.
You know, like the wolf dressed up like Grandma.
So are you saying like a chick could come here in here dressed up like a dog?
Unless I
I'm
know
glad
it's
you
someone
understand.
that'll
Okay.
actually punch me.
Any other answers? Any other ideas?
Oh,
Why would
dress
God
up
pick?
in a wolf suit and then go
No,
into
no,
a
no, no,
wolf
no. You have to be a
outfit.
wolf. You have to be a wolf, then you dress up in a sheep suit.
Oh.
Okay. Does anybody else have any other ideas? Why would God pick?
Oh.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Because I like raising my hand.
Because you like raising hands. It's a good answer. Anything else?
Oh,
I actually forgot what I said.
that get slaughtered as sacrifice to Jesus. So they're like, he's raised all these nice
Oh, and they
sacrifices.
sacrifice.
You can go see
Why
your
shepherds?
son.
So it's almost like a reward
That's fifth time.
for the fifth person. There you go.
No, wait. Or wait.
I guess
Because God is like a shepherd, so God gives, and the shepherds were shepherds, and they gave to Jesus.
What they get?
literally what I just said.
Gold or something.
Lambs.
They gave him like
That
gold
was the wrong
stuff.
people.
It's the wise men.
Oh, okay. Well,
Wise
the wise.
men
Oh.
didn't even come
I'm
on
gonna
his
say
birthday.
No, Terminus's birthday.
The wise men were like 2 years ago.
You didn't read yet, did you?
I believe it was like.
Okay, yeah, you can read the next part. 13 and 15, or 13 through
What the
15.
shepherds were doing, where they were raising perfect.
Go
sheep
for it.
Well, that's
for
what's it better can do
sacrifices.
better than him?
It's possible,
better
but he's
than me?
pretty good.
I don't think so.
13 through 15.
You should have heard him on.
Literally no one can beat me.
Symbolism of
You sure?
Jesus being the perfect
No.
sacrifice.
I'm not sure.
And,
Everyone is wrong.
and that the
Son and angel was
shepherds
joined by a
knew
vast
where that
host of others, the armies of
where,
heaven praising God and saying, Glory
Jesus
to
was
God
born.
in the highest of heaven.
and so they went on over and they saw Jesus and then went back and told everybody about what
When
happened.
the angels had returned to heaven, the shepherds said to each other, Let's go to Bethlehem to see this thing happen, which the word has told us about.
Very nice.
Can I read it?
Another question.
No.
What do you think the angel's song
Can I?
meant?
God is in the sheep.
Yeah, but his
What?
purpose
When
is
you
to
say that God is not because people are going down.
Yeah, there's this one song right here, verse 14. It's just 14. What do you guys think that song means? It's just 14. That's the whole song.
14.
It's just verse 14. It's the only verse. It's the whole song.
What is this Bible? What is Amos? What is that song?
Amos.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
It's one of the minor prophets.
in the priesthood.
What's a
And they
Bible?
know
Amos,
scriptures.
Obadiah. It's a minor prophet.
Can I read? Yes, I
There's
can.
major prophets and minor
So they
prophets.
don't
Like the only difference is how long their book is.
Valley in New York.
The major prophets have big long books. The minor prophets have short little books. That's it. They're all prophets.
They're not
I'm
just
not
following
voting
what
for it.
they heard from the angel.
I don't know.
That
They're just
angel is
like, oh
telling
yeah,
them
actually no.
something
People study them way
that
less.
They probably realize.
It's literally a thing in the Bible you'll
They
find
probably
is the
know,
more verses, the
hey,
more
they're
words that are
talking
in a
about
book, the more
Messiah.
often that book gets studied.
So like,
I mean, so the angel does say that the Messiah
Yeah,
is
kinda.
born in Bethlehem.
They don't need to be. They shouldn't be. But like, it's how it worked out.
Yeah.
There's no other reason other than they just
I
don't have a
didn't
lot
know
to
I
say.
could do this.
They're very short books.
I am the Udamer.
Sit
4 on the
down.
floor.
Be done.
7 on the floor.
Dylan,
7 on the floor.
be done.
I mean, they know
Get
what's
up,
going
sit in
on.
your chair.
What
You
happened?
can put that down on the
Can
table.
Can I read?
Dylan.
It's read.
I've got a cage in
They
the back of my
know
desk pickup.
No,
about
said the chairs were.
Yes, please.
chairs are not
Follow.
toys.
Can I read?
They're chairs.
What? No one's answered the question.
In the
Literally no one has answered
What
the question.
charity?
They know all.
What do you
this
think
stuff.
the
They're
angel's song
aware.
meant?
Is there like an
What
actual
song?
answer for this?
Verse 14. If
I
you'd
know.
like to read it, you
I know.
can.
I know.
Let's
They
see.
know exactly what
Oh,
it is.
that's a song. I thought that was a
That is a
verse.
song.
It's saying,
How do you sing it?
Be happy. That's true.
I have a
Yeah.
question. Is this like the question one or just
No, I'd say there's actually a right answer. Yeah, because we're interpreting like an actual set of words. There's a meaning there behind those words. You can read it. It's verse 14.
Verse 14.
It's literally the only part that's the song. It's your fault.
You should bring it closer.
Excuse me. Don't sit in your chair like
They
a weirdo.
did a spelling error
Sit in your
thing.
chair like with your butt.
No, they didn't, man.
Yeah, it says glory to God in highest heaven. It doesn't say in the highest.
Well, no. Highest heaven is the correct phrasing.
Okay.
The highest heaven. So
That means how many
let me explain. If you say the highest heaven, that means there's more than one heaven, and we're referring to the one that's highest. If you say highest heaven, then that means that heaven is higher than all things that are not
But
heaven.
if you say the highest heaven,
That means there's more than one heaven. But there's not. There's only one heaven. So what you're saying is heaven is higher than all other
But what if you just say the
non-heaven
heaven?
places.
The heaven, because that means there's only the isn't one.
But that's not what happens if you say the highest heaven. That means there's more than one
just
heaven.
take out the highest.
But then you're not saying anything about heaven. You're just saying heaven.
Yeah.
The heaven.
But they wanted to say something about heaven. That's clearly part of the song.
It is.
Heaven is higher than other places.
Yeah. What? Oh yeah.
It obviously didn't come out very well.
What if it's
when we were
lower?
staring at the screen. But it's not, and that's what they're saying.
Like
It is higher.
Go, read. You're not now.
like higher.
He's asking a
physically-
valid question, unless he's just trying to pull my leg. In which case,
No, I'm not trying to pull you like physically higher.
in this
I'm trying
case,
to pull your
no, I
finger.
don't think so. It's open to interpretation. I would say in this case, what they're talking about is in terms of rank or glory, like how good this is or how amazing.
So it's not physically like highest. Because you can't build a
Think
ladder down.
so.
and fly down.
I don't think it's about height. I think it's about rank.
No.
Like it outranks everything else. It is higher up
If you
than
go
everything
past
else.
the universe, does that mean you're
Okay, I think
No,
Weird
that
question,
means
hard to
you're in
answer.
another galaxy.
Can you go past something that literally means everything? Because
Yes.
the word universe means everything.
No, but it's not everything.
But that's what it means. That's what the word means.
So every
That's where I'm going. So I like to refer to it as creation. Everything inside of creation. If you go past creation, then yes, you're there. But the word universe doesn't mean creation. The word creation
Wait,
doesn't
so
mean
if I
universe.
get
Just
like
like
a
nothing
huge
doesn't
missile, or not missile, but rocket, and have like the world's biggest amount of fuel, like making fuel on the fuel,
Sure.
I could get to heaven.
But this is a weird question. If you're breaking out of creation, right? You're breaking out, like, let's say there's a bubble, and you get to the edge, and you break through the edge of the bubble, right? But what you're doing is you're taking things that are created, matter, energy, you know, your mass, your brain, all that. You're taking that, you're trying to leave the place where that stuff is allowed to exist. Who says you even survived
It
that?
also means that something.
You know what I mean? Like if you leave energy and mass behind, aren't you dead?
No. Floating ball.
I don't even know, man.
I don't know, like, I'm not saying it's even a valid question, because, like, it's probably not even possible.
No.
God probably
No.
intentionally stuck the earth so far to the center.
No.
There'd be no way that
No,
that
my
can
ear.
survive. It'd take too long.
What is this?
But that's kind of fun. Yeah, you just said like a space arc flying towards the edge of the universe. Like Noah's Ark.
No.
Maybe we should do like the Ugandan instead.
But just like humans, they all just like keep on making generations. So they, instead of one person making
Focus on
it,
this last
descendants make it to
peace on earth.
I'd say.
Okay. Anybody want to take a stab at what the angel song means? You had a good one. I liked yours. It was part of it.
Highest heaven.
How about the question?
Probably just
Stab at
talking
it.
about
A stab?
something just like stating
That's what I was
loyal
not
to
gonna
Not a butter knife?
giving you
Okay.
How about we read the song, Dylan, and then you can actually make a
This
real
song
guess here.
is pretty not rhymed.
like
Yeah, it's also not written in English, so it's kind of hard to translate that.
Oh wait,
into
they
writing.
should make an actual song of the song of this song.
That'd be cool. I think they might have.
They have probably. Have they? Do you know?
I wonder how many sides
They
they
made a
can
song.
do in a minute.
They have. We sang it in the play. Remember? The glory to God.
I think there's literally two that I know of this verse.
There's
And
a
there
song-
might be more I don't know.
Play about
You know
that.
what I mean?
It's talking about
It's a play about how this kid he got to outer space without even a rocket.
Why? Why are we talking about outer space still? Alright guys, look at the song. Glory to God in the highest heaven, dang, you got me doing it. Glory to God in highest heaven,
All kinds
and
of
peace on earth to those with whom God is pleased.
Yeah, but that's a song. We're singing in a play. I
Not the point. Not the point. Forget the rocket. What is the song about?
This is the tip. The point.
Overthrow Rome. That want to get rid of the Romans.
I got one.
Yes. Become free. And
You're copying
You're just changing the
there's
words.
all kinds of they just like
Wait.
No, seriously.
Yes.
Maybe it's about like
the
God
in the
raising us or supporting us.
Him raising God.
there's
Okay,
the, like,
okay.
Sadducees.
Not raising.
Here's a question. Where it says peace
They
on
believe
earth,
differently and they clash
That
all
means
the time.
peace on earth.
Peace on
So
earth.
like
So there's all kinds
calmness,
of unrest.
stillness, you know, you're not scared, you're not afraid, all that good stuff. He says that on earth, but he adds this little bit to the end. Not the whole earth, just to those
peace.
with whom God
His
is
favorite
pleased.
rest.
I think that's really kind
Who
of
is or
describing
people
what Jesus
that go
means.
to church and believe in him.
Well, I don't even know if going to church is part of it, because at this point, at this, like, I mean, you're not wrong. I'm just saying at this point when he
People
sings
that
it,
actually
Bring
believe.
peace to it.
there you go. Because like at this point when he sings it, there's
all
no
kinds
churches.
of unrest in this
Also,
culture.
you
We hadn't
can go
invented
to
those yet.
church,
Of
like
wanting
At the
you
point
can
of the
go
song,
to
there's no
church,
churches.
but you don't have to believe in God.
Interesting.
What?
like
Like that one terrorist
How
who
do
like
you
went to church and then
Believe? Like
to
what?
what?
I think he was just making a statement that going to church doesn't mean you believe in God. You could physically walk into a church 100 million times and it wouldn't make you believe in God. Like going
there's all
to
kinds of
physically going to the place called a church doesn't change anything about you.
I could name my house the church.
Tell
I
us
had
a
a
story.
friend who always made the joke. He was in Bible college,
Jesus comes to
and
bring peace.
his friends would always like call him, and then he wouldn't pick up the phone, or they'd text him and he wouldn't answer, and then he'd see them later, and they'd be like, "Dude, you didn't answer. We were gonna go get pizza or whatever," and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I was in the Word. I was in the Word." He'd always use that excuse. I was in the Word. The Word is frequently like a nickname for the Bible.
Paul talks
Like
a lot
people
about
thought he meant, you know, like I was studying, so like I turned off my phone.
he-
Right? One day someone goes into his dorm room and they see he has a
How things are
plaque
not
on the foot of his bed,
but he
and it
has
says
peace.
the Word. He had named his bed
So-
That's
So all
smart.
those times he was using that excuse, I was in the Word. I was in the Word.
Oh,
He
he's
was
been,
sleeping.
So let me guess. He's been sleeping.
He was sleeping.
That's smart
It was
though.
very clever.
That is genius.
Then he wasn't lying.
That's a good idea.
That is so genius.
I'm
Alright,
gonna
so
Did
you
you
can
know
do
that
it.
they make hotels that like
Show me.
you literally only get like this much space?
Oh yeah, they're really popular in
They
Japan. They have a few other
hurried
places
into
too,
the
but like
village
in
and
Japan you can go rent like the bed.
And there was the
essentially.
baby.
And the bed might even
lying
be in like a
manger.
Someone just said
After
Japan.
seeing
of
the
beds.
baby,
There's just little holes in the wall where you crawl in and it's a bed.
told
Yeah,
everyone
no, I
it
have
It's
was
like
I've
that.
never
It's
seen
a
it.
lot like that.
Like
It's a
what?
weird movie, but it is like that movie.
That's
There's a
I've
movie
actually
called
seen
Ants.
some
What the
videos.
angel said to them about his
They have
child.
that. Like,
All who
beds
heard the
stuck in the
shepherd's
wall.
stories.
I am
were
the
astonished.
man.
This book Mary kept all these things
Right at the
Haven't seen
end,
it
in her
all
heart
the
and
minions
thought
have their little
about
tiny cubby
them
with like
often.
a bed like this, but it's just a big old
Oh,
hole
yeah,
about
yeah.
this big.
Back in
Is
the
it
walls.
minion shaped?
And then they
no,
just
it's
sit,
like-
lay
it's
in
like
there
a-
like a hammock.
Yeah, I saw
And
it.
then they have like, they're all stuff on like the
That's
wall like this
so-
big.
That was
And then
insane.
one time like, there's
snuck
That sounds
thousands
like
of
slavery.
them.
That's awesome.
What?
The minions. To me, it always seemed like they were just
Terrible.
Oh, they're
We just started
doing.
calling
There's
them
a
But if
movie-
you
No, they were
see
all
the-
like
or
workers.
two.
First
Right.
off,
What do they
the
get paid?
Food and a
Seven
house.
years.
Sounds like slaves.
Yes, but if you watch the Minions
Alright, guys.
movie,
No,
Move
but they
on.
don't get beaten to death.
That is a good thing.
Yes, but if you
That's a
watch
very good
the-
thing.
I
I feel like the experiments that he does, that they take part in,
They're not perfect.
That-
very close to that.
But
But
Alright,
they
last
quit.
section.
They walk away.
Who wants to read 16
Well,
to
think
20?
about
I will.
Super, super fast, like the fastest.
Have you read yet?
Yes.
No, Weston hasn't.
What's this?
And neither has
Oh, that's right. I nixed you.
Yo, Red, you're already.
Go for it. You can
Not
read
REV.
16 to 20.
Oh wait, what? Is that?
Think about that.
16 through 20. Yes.
They hurried to the Minions and found Mary and Joseph, and there
Yeah, he's like.
was the baby living
Read
in the
along.
manger.
Yeah, I mean, is it a
After
sin
seeing
for a
him, the
baby to
shepherds
not
told
sleep
him
well?
what they had held in it and what the angel had said to them about the child.
I mean, technically
All who
speaking,
I would
the
expect
baby
that would be pretty
were
simple.
astonished, but Mary kept
a
all
baby,
things
baby
Right.
in
On
her
her.
heart and threw about
Nope.
them
And thought about.
and thought about.
well, do you think that African is
The shepherds went
the
back
baby
to
can
their
just spam
flutes
F for food?
What's a flute?
It's flops.
Glorifying and praising
I
God
mean,
for all they had heard.
It must have been pretty strange having these people show up, knowing what they were coming
Okay, so the shepherds all go and visit. The shepherds all go and visit. The angels were proven true, and
unannounced.
it must have been pretty freaky to like not only come visit the
Hey, we
angels,
want to see your baby.
check around after the angels go. You saw that, right? And all the other shepherds are like, yeah, man, that was nuts. But they actually go and they see baby Jesus.
There's not supposed to be.
And the angel's word is proven true, so that means they didn't hallucinate.
You
It
had
wasn't just like some random
Show us the
dream
baby.
they had.
Give me the
what
baby.
The angel said.
Give me the baby.
It was reality.
It's
That
real.
must be strange, no?
A coincidence that there's like a baby born in an animal food truck. Yeah, that's a total coincidence.
But
It happens all the time.
Yeah, I know. I was
All
born
the time.
I was born on the street.
I think my parents were
In a
both born in
sewer.
food trucks. It's a totally normal thing.
I was born in a
Alright, so
sewer.
first question, what do you think life was like for Mary and Joseph as they raised Jesus?
That ought to be harsh.
Make sure the baby doesn't
Oh my
cry.
goodness.
Let me guess.
It's like
I just can't even right now.
Life
Anybody
is-
else?
Nobody said kiss me, baby.
Oh, why? No. What do you think life was like for Mary and Joseph
I
raising
think it
Jesus?
was like,
Have you seen the movie?
but because like so many people were all like, I mean, technically speaking, Jesus was a human.
Caleb, we don't want to hear
No,
your
it's our
thoughts.
baby.
I think they knew it was the Messiah though. They'd both been visited by the angel
No,
before Mary even got pregnant.
What if they didn't believe him? Wasn't Mary like 14 or something?
She could have been. No, I know that sounds weird. Guys, I know that sounds weird, but we don't know for sure how old she was, for one. But two, you actually could get married around 14 back then. So, like, that's the bottom range. Like, that's probably the youngest she could possibly be. She's absolutely right. In certain countries, 14 is not weird. 14 is, like, normal in certain countries. So we don't know how old she was. She could have been, like, 28. Who knows? But she could have been 14.
In the video, she looks like
30 million.
506.
But they said
506 is what we're going with?
But they were
506 and a half in 3 days and 4 hours and 4 seconds and
they
4
would have that
milliseconds.
baby how old
What?
they were.
Abraham didn't even live.
No, it was.
Was that the one
It
that
wasn't the age. Oh, you. Oh, okay.
Never mind, I'm
That was the other
thinking
people.
what's
It
his
was the other
face.
couple. Zechariah and Elizabeth.
Yeah,
And
then
it was weird
the
for them
one
because
that
they were
was
old, not because they were too young. They were too old. So Mary though wasn't yet married,
Had anyone ever
and so that in their culture means like we have a good chance that she's young. It's possible to get older and not get married in their culture. It did happen to some people, but most people in their culture were getting married pretty young.
How old was Joseph?
Joseph, that's tricky. So in the Bible, it doesn't give us any hints. But in other sources, so outside the Bible, there's like tradition that says he was actually an older guy, and that Mary may have been his second wife. That he may have already been like married, and his wife died, and now Mary was like his second wife. But that's just like outside the Bible, traditional, like legend type stuff. We don't really know for sure.
Story right
Yeah.
Okay, next question. How do you
LOL.
think? I think it was like. You know how? Young kid of.
Here, the kid is here. Oh no, that's completely
Oh, Will Smith.
We also saw
Angel came to them. They they're probably never gonna forget it.
Yeah, I think it's a little different because Will Smith is a celebrity himself. Whereas like Mary and Joseph,
Wait, Will Smith's son is a celebrity?
he's a celebrity to a certain degree, and like his daughter's a celebrity. She was a pop star for a while. Yeah, she had like #1 hits on the radio, and then she quit.
See how they taste.
Oh, this is Disneyland.
I kid you not, she had a song called "I Will
You
You
realize that cool.
Oh, I know. I want to go there. No.
That's his daughter.
You gotta eat those angels. No, it
Final question.
Nobody's eating angels.
How do you think
So you just gotta
this night
take a
changed the
bite of
rest of the
them.
shepherd's lives?
That tastes like
I
candy.
remember that night.
Insane.
It's never good.
Uh,
Like we just went.
Oh, maybe. Just a little bit.
Dude, for me, if I was a shepherd that went through that, I'd be like,
No,
trying to track
nobody
them down.
cares.
Guys.
Like when they leave Bethlehem, I'd be like, "Where are you guys going?" Like chasing them out of town. Where are you guys gonna live? Like I want to visit. I want to go and hang out with Jesus. Like when he's older and he's not a baby anymore and he can talk.
I know what
No, it would be awesome. I would
Nobody
probably
cares.
start teaching my I'd tell everyone
And
until
like they're all
everyone
like
gets super
there during one of
obnoxious
his teachings.
about that story.
After like
And then I want to
The shepherds would be like his uncles. angels. Like they just come around on the holidays and stuff.
So like,
Yeah, you got that.
That'd be pretty cool.
What do you think it'd be like? For
Yeah.
them?
Oh,
How do you think it would change their lives?
I'm sorry, I just had to say that.
I don't think you did.
I'm gonna be the baby's disciple. I'm gonna be that hipster who's like in this way before
Only like
it's
two
cool.
times where it
Way before
says,
I was following Jesus
like,
before
you know,
anybody. I was like, I was there when I was born.
Wait, are we allowed to look at the quote?
I was stalking his mother before he was
I was
That's
under her
that's
bed.
probably going too far.
We're
That's
not allowed. I
probably
was
going too
under her bed.
Why would you be allowed to?
That's
That's
incredibly
way
too far.
Here's
It's
the
just
Oh,
all the creepy thing. Anybody else? How would this change the rest of the shepherd's lives?
Oh, you could be like, like, put up a booth and give me 2 pieces of bread and I'll tell you how the birth was like.
Wait, the text?
Dude, that's true. You could
What?
be
Wait,
like
is there,
selling
like, this
insider
or
information
something?
the rest of your life. Like I know my insider. You want to know, you gotta pay me.
It's over there and that.
Can you imagine though, like if they had to keep going back to their day job, because like knowing who the Messiah is doesn't make you run. It doesn't like make you have food every day. Like you still have to do your job. So like they're still tending to sheep and like they're raising the sacrificial lambs all the while they know like God's final sacrifice is already here. And they're like, can we quit? The final sacrifice was
I
born.
thought the end.
Can we quit? But like he doesn't go die on the cross for like another 30 years. So it's like, no, you can't quit. You still have to work the next 30 years.
I would just quit
Retiring.
and go to Italy.
Yeah.
You see an angel, you bite out of one.
Can I kick him?
What do you?
Can you guys imagine? Maybe you're not the shepherd, right? But like maybe you were alive back then. You're just like that
They would have been like,
kid in town.
yeah.
You wake up to the sound of a crying baby. You walk out there.
I'd be like, what is that?
You see the crying baby. You're like, what is your deal, guys? Why are you like giving birth in some shack?
This is gonna be your savior.
And then someone tells you, like, this is the Savior, the Christ. It was a tiny city. Bethlehem was so small, it didn't even
This is
fall
what I
like
would do.
to
I
be
would
like
take their baby.
a tribe within Judah.
Hold it and then run. I'll be like, asshole,
Yeah, it was like Chico. But he wasn't even born like in Chico Hospital. He was like born out in like the field outside of Chico in some like
Did you see that video? And that was
like my
Chico Hospital.
Yeah, do you have a barn?
Well,
yeah.
So he was like born in your barn.
it seems like
On
we're
the
not
edge of
going
town.
anywhere from here.
Yep.
So,
And then you walk out there and you're like, what are you guys doing in my barn?
Great child.
And they're like, don't worry, this is the Messiah.
cool, I'll pray for your parents.
No. They already made the baby. The baby's made. It's done. It's finished. It's a complete baby.
Oh, how's life?
No more making required. So, oh snap! What would you do if someone told you this is the Messiah?
Wait, I would say bye. Get out of my
Get out of my barn!
shed.
A bunch of
Wait,
weirdos.
now or like back
Sure,
then?
now
Daniel didn't
it's
change
changing.
you.
It shouldn't.
Wait, it's your birthday?
Yes.
Are you 14?
Because if it was now, that would mean the Messiah had never been born. We
That's
would still be
too
just
old.
like,
Tell me it's
like Old Testament, like waiting for the promise to come true.
Yes.
Except it would be like in the Old Testament, it would say like in the town of Chico, the Messiah would be born.
But that would be kind of cool.
So like,
No, that's
we've
it.
been waiting for thousands of years, and so people have kind of lost faith. They're like, this never gonna happen.
Happy
That prophecy
birthday!
said
And then
hundreds
it
of years
just
ago.
happened.
Alright, what are the other
Your barn, your garage, right? That'd be weird, wouldn't it? And then you'd grow up knowing like somewhere out there is the Messiah. I know because he was born in my garage, or he was born in my barn.
See, that's Jesus right there.
Oh,
Where
that's
is
gross.
stain?
That's so gross.
The stains are.
Would it change your life though?
What
Knowing
stains?
somewhere out there is the Messiah, you met him when he was a baby.
This we're going to the ladies'
Would that change your
I
life?
would follow him.
Huh?
You just start tracking him.
What would change my life?
Would it,
I would
I'm
get
asking
a
you, would
tracker on him and
would it change your life if like the
like
Messiah prophesied to be born in your hometown was like born in your garage?
I would be like, what are
If I woke
these
up to
people
the
born in
sun
my garage? And
crying
they're
babies, I'd be like,
okay.
first,
Alright, you can go.
First I'll go
Have
grab
a
my
good
pistol.
Easter.
first
and
off,
Happy
I
New
go
Year.
outside,
5 seconds of awkward silence.
turn the light.
Um,
I literally don't have
What happens if your phone breaks in half within the bucket? Do you get like 2 chances?
You gotta
Listen.
call your
Listen.
check your insurance policy.
Listen.
But what if it can do like this?
Happy
Kind
Easter.
of majority share.
Happy Christmas.
The average phone.
Happy Halloween. And happy.
Landon!
Happy. What day is it? Happy Wednesday.
Hey Matt, stop. No more answers then? You guys are all tapped out? Nothing?
Yeah, they weren't even calling all the fouls.
I'm a little curious if Jesus was born in your garage, if you wouldn't be like in one of two camps. Either the total extreme of I don't believe a darn thing of this, it's so weird, I can't believe any of it, or the other extreme of like immediately on board, I want to be the first Christian. I'm gonna follow Jesus from this moment on. Like, I want to be friends with the family. Like, I'm gonna become friends with Joseph and Mary so that I can visit, so that I can hang with Jesus later on. I think honestly, you guys, I think most of us would fall into one of two camps. I think we would fall into one of the extremes of I believe nothing, it's all fake, you guys are a bunch of crazies, or I'm on board, I'm gonna follow you, like you're awesome. I think most people fall into those camps.
Hey, I would be all like, hey, now
What do
you're
you
my
guys
big
think?
brother.
You think you'd be one of those two?
Oh, are you?
Which one?
The one that believes.
What do you think, Matt?
Hey, thanks.
Yeah, I am.
About as much as I am. He just shows it better.
I do.
Thank you that he has a heart to serve and that he's helping out with the leaders there.
You got all excited. I thought you had an answer.
Oh,
yes, I did.
I have an answer for both.
I'm
Hunter's parents.
Talking right now.
Since now.
Well, it depends on if there's any bottles around, and what they're wearing, cause I don't know if they're just like.
What?
And what they're wearing? You're gonna have to explain, Matt. That doesn't make any sense.
Okay, let's just
Are you gonna try milking a child?
Who needs a prayer?
No, I got.
Landon, do you have any prayer requests?
Oh my gosh, no, I'll explain how that makes
You failed
sense.
to explain. I gave up.
So, because
Wasted.
if they're people.
Matt, no.
Oh my
Just
gosh.
give up.
If they're like,
Come on!
Is this a joke?
It's taking us way too long!
Where was it?
Okay. But we already know that
Well,
that's
if they're
not
in
the
your
case,
garage,
right?
then you
We already
know.
know who Mary and Joseph are from the story. We know that they're not those people. They're from out of town, so like they have a home, but they don't have it in your town. And we also know they're not from.
I'm running a magnet, not like
not that hockey.
Daniel, why didn't you?
Come on!
Y'all like
He's talking forever!
Are you guys done?
No, he
No!
keeps talking!
I
Landon
didn't
and Matt,
finish my
stop
Can
yelling.
we please do the phone bucket?
Elise can do the phone bucket.
I didn't finish my sentence.
Okay, cool, Matt. Go for it. Hey, Dylan, over here. Dylan,
Dang it, I didn't.
you're in our group, Dylan. Quit that group. You're in this group.
So.
Joke's on you. I'll buy everything.
I won!
Well done.
Sorry.
You still
I'm
won.
actually.
I know!
Yeah, but I couldn't sleep that
I said I missed
So
you
it
guys.
depends if there's bottles and clothes are wearing, and it also depends on how they're
You would judge them on their appearance.
I would judge them on the bottles around.
That would be an appearance.
I would judge them because I was the solid
It's like a hustle.
And they have to pay me $1 and the last one to find out. Yeah, you got that. Stop.
I understand, but no one's answering my question. Do you have any prayer requests? Should I ask you, Matt? Do you have any prayer requests?
Actually start the game. Nate
It's a yes or no question. You
He
don't?
said no.
Okay. One prayer request from Natalie, one of our leaders. Her dad's still in the hospital, and so she just wanted us to pray for him. He hasn't gotten better yet, so still bad. I don't actually know, but he's sick enough to be hospitalized for a week. So pretty sick.
So I think I was the guy that had
Oh, cool. Oh, Donnie.
Yeah, he's back in church.
He's back in church? Sweet. I haven't seen him yet. Okay, let's pray then.
Okay, we gotta go.
No, we don't.
Ready, Malachi? Ready, Leon? Let's pray.
We don't.
Lord, we just thank you for your word. Thank you that you're using it to speak to us. And we want to lift up Natalie's dad tonight. Just work on his body and heal him, Lord. And give Natalie and their whole family some peace tonight. I know they've been hanging around the hospital for like a week, and that really starts to get old, and it really starts to get sad. And so we just ask, Lord, that you would sustain them, lift them up, and if we run across them, Lord, just give us the opportunity and give us the ability to not just cheer them up, Lord, but share some of your love and some of your peace with them. Pray for these guys this week as they go out back into the world, that you would help them to be lights wherever they are, and just share something from your word with the people they're around. We ask all this in your name. Amen. I love you guys. I will see you next week.
See ya.
Have a good night. See you tomorrow.
Into the end.
What's tomorrow, Matt?
Monday.
Tomorrow's Saturday.
Thank you.
Wednesday, Saturday.
Is that how the week goes? Good night, Malachi. See ya. Bye, Landon.
Thanks for making it enjoyable.
I tried. Thank you.
Are you kidding? No.
Into the end.
I don't know.
Tell me that.
You were outside.
Have you seen the video where they put that song up against a pop song? It's not your parents.
I don't think so.